Good morning. It is Tuesday, the 1st of October 2013, in England, Oxfordshire, by Banbury. Banbury. Ha! Now, good versus evil. Good will overcome. There is no doubt. Ultimately, all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. At Christ's second coming, not before then. In the meantime, we have to get on with our lives as we find them now. And there is evil in this world, and the only way to overcome it truly, ultimately, is to fight it with the love of Christ. In the Lord's Prayer, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive them that trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. One of the things I take from that is that God put evil in this world for good to triumph over it. So there is a purpose to evil. There's something about the process as a human being of opposing evil with the love of Christ within you, the love of God through Christ within you, that is necessary. There clearly has been, before Christ, since Christ came, and now in this world there is evil. And we must oppose it, not by further acts of evil, of violence. And the West is set on its path, as ever, thinking that opposing one wrong, you use another wrong. Well, those two wrongs don't make a right. Absolutely not. In small ways too. This isn't evil, this is just the normal small stuff. I was in the local main Church of England here, St Mary's in Banbury, yesterday, and one person, the welcomers, welcomed me, and I felt welcomed, and I stayed, had a nice pot of tea, and another welcomer came, and her face, she just looked at me, and I just froze inside. Who's this? Just the way she looked at me. Ah! Well, that's not evil, that's just normal human behavior. But there we are. I found myself listening last night on Radio 4, very good value for money, it's free. They were discussing Tolkien, J.R.R. Tolkien, the author of The Lord of the Rings, and he was a very gifted man, a linguist, and also went through the First World War, and then was a professor and whatever at Oxford. Knew C.S. Lewis, but a Roman Catholic, as it happens. I wasn't entirely so sure of that, but I am now. And the nature of his writing and so on and so on. The First World War was still a lot of it hand-to-hand stuff, in a sense. Obviously the rifle, gunpowder has been invented, but what we now have in the world is this monstrous capacity to wipe out whole swathes of humanity at the push of a button, the nuclear bomb. That's evil. We, the West, America and Britain, used it on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So the can of worms has been opened, and it's downhill all the way to Armageddon, the end times. That's the reality I perceive. The only hope for mankind is to turn to loving God through Christ. Amen. Same old spot. Peaceful scene, but we're under a nuclear umbrella. And the mindset of the likes of Mr. David Cameron and Mr. Barack Obama. Bang, bang, you're dead and I'm not playing is the general attitude of the Americans. Fortunately, we've had the common sense in Britain now to vote down this proposal of pouring more fuel into the flames of the fire in Syria. The vote was 272 for, 285 against in the British Parliament. Sadly for me, and I'm pretty sure about this, someone called Dame Shirley Williams, who I rather respect, voted for the use of further violence. The Americans, as it happens, on one of these analysis programs, Radio 4 again, used their backing behind Persia, Iraq. They supported Saddam Hussein's use of chemical weapons because it suited their purpose for Iraq to be a bulwark against Persia, Iran. Ho, ho, ho. I'm with Christ, with God. Every single hair on the head of your fellow man, man, woman, child, every human being is precious and special in God's eye, and you cannot harm them with the love of God through Christ within you. Amen. Good morning. That's how you oppose evil, with love, and it works to the point of allowing yourself to be martyred. So the first English martyr was a chap called Alban, a Roman centurion with a red cloak, and he saved He was converted to Christianity by a chap called Amphibolus. He then gave his red cloak to Amphibolus so he could escape the Romans. And of course he was then martyred because the Roman soldiers saying, no, I won't kill anymore, doesn't work. But look how God has worked through that man Alban, the martyrdom, because he did what was the right Christian thing to do, not to oppose violence, evil acts by others with further violence. We will do it, mankind, there's no doubt about it, and descend into the mire. It's obvious. But I can see the difference between good and evil, and I'm capable, quite capable, of speaking about it with strength. Amen. That's all. Within me, I am prepared to the point of death never to use physical violence against anyone or anything. I try and avoid trouble. But personally, I'm prepared to die if necessary for my Christian love. Amen to that. Happy thoughts. Christ will come again. St. Paul speaks of this in, to me, the finest passage ever written about love. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. So, with St. Paul, I am for faith, for hope, and for love. Amen. Closing shot. Nothing like a little fire to cheer one up. I don't think I'm harming anyone, quite frankly, but there we are. And it's not easy on a personal level and on the bigger level. All gone.